welcome back to Unlockable Character. It is a rainy Saturday. We're at the car wash because I'm just cleaning up the wheels. There was a lot of basically the lubricant that they use on the tire machine, the wheel machine, still stuck to the tires and wheels, so I'm just cleaning that off in the wash, guys. And then we're gonna get going to the gym, have a good workout, and then head back to Atlanta. I wanted to touch on a few things today. The first is just understanding the value of something like buying an M3 and M4 that doesn't come in dollar terms, okay? These cars are now in the six figures when you build them new, and you can look at the price and you can say, you know, oh my God, you know, I'll never be able to get there. Or you can look at the car and be like, no, I am gonna get there. I'm gonna be motivated to make more money to get the car. When I get the car, it's gonna motivate me to make even more money. It's gonna help me meet people. It's gonna open new relationships, right, with people who are on a different level. And I think personally, the way that you approach something like this, like a purchase of a car, it doesn't always come down to dollar terms, especially if you are someone who wants to run businesses, make more money, meet people. This car can really be a conduit or a mechanism for you to achieve those things. I know for me that the car is the reason that I've had a lot of different opportunities in life, connections that came up, and those became doors to a new job, doors to new business ideas, new friendships, a new community of people that I really enjoy hanging out with, where I feel like I can actually be a little bit more of myself. So all of those are things of value that are not really dollar terms when you think about buying a car. So just keep that in mind, guys. And then when you actually have the car and you own the car, I think what separates a real driver from someone who just is a car enthusiast is the driver is going to find more just euphoria, joy, happiness, fun from driving the car, whereas the enthusiast is going to find more joy in maintaining the car to 100% at all times, sometimes even being, you know, a garage queen that maybe only goes out to Cars and Coffee. And I think you really need to realize that if you're going to own a car like this and drive it and enjoy it, like, things are going to happen. So letting those things go, you know, and just still enjoying the car is so important. And that's what real, like, I think car enthusiasm is getting the most out of the car. The cars are meant to be driven, right? They're not meant to be put in a garage as a display piece. And, you know, if you enjoy that, I get it. It's kind of like art. But to me, the most joy you're ever going to get out of a car is when you're pushing it and you're enjoying it and you're driving it. And that joy is going to be so much more in terms of valuable and the totality of it, like the amount of it, than just trying to keep it really nice for a car show here and there. Because at that point, a little bit of it is the pride of ownership, where you want to keep it nice for yourself, but a lot of it is you want to make a good appearance at an external event. Well, you know what? Things are going to happen. So when you drive the car and it gets a few nicks, you know, I think that just speaks to the character of the car. Someone looking outside in who knows about cars will probably see that based on the tire wear. You know, have you been tracking it? You know, the outside ribs of the tire is really worn, or, you know, does it have a few noticeable, you know, paint chips in the front because, you know, you've been driving it and you've been enjoying it. Like, so what? I think a car that hasn't been driven and that sits in the garage, especially a more modern car, may actually have more problems down the line when someone actually wants to buy it to enjoy it, versus these cars. And I'm getting comments where people are like, oh, you know, check the oil consumption. Well, I've had 3 G82s, none of them have burned any oil. I've had a 991 GT3 that burned about a liter of oil every 5 to 10,000 miles, which is not bad. And then I've had an A91 2021 Supra, which burned a liter of oil literally like every 1 to 2,000 miles. And that was just really annoying. Eventually I got a thicker oil. I was using the factory 0W30, I think, oil, and that was burning up. But on the Supra I changed to 5W30, and that actually eliminated the oil consumption issue. But regardless, these G82s, they don't burn oil. The problems that I've seen on the G82 are that people honestly The only thing I've seen on Instagram was one guy who blew his transmission, but he had like 2 or 3 sets of tires on the car already in the first few thousand miles. So I really, all of you out there thinking like, oh, these cars, you know, BMWs are unreliable, you don't understand because you haven't had a modern experience with a newer M3 or M4. Like, these cars literally are insanely bulletproof. If you want to break down, you know, the ownership costs, if you buy the car new or certified pre-owned, you'll probably get oil changes. For new, you'll definitely get oil changes up to 36,000 miles. So the factory oil is fine at the factory power level. So we're basically going to Gwinnett Place BMW for oil changes, which are free, guys, up to 36,000 miles. Then the next thing to consider would be tires, because if you drive the car hard, probably between 10 to 15,000 miles, you're gonna have to replace the tires. But you don't need to get the OEM tire. There are other options like the Bridgestone Potenza, the Hankook Evo. I'm running the Hankook Evo right now. So tires over the life cycle of the car will probably be your most expensive item, just because the price of tires are so high now. Next thing would be spark plugs. People say, oh, you need to change them at 15,000. Really, at stock levels of power, you could probably go to 30,000 before changing the spark plugs. I've only had to do that once, and that was within 30,000 miles on a previous G82. So oil change is free if you get it, you know, new. Spark plugs are going to run you like $200, maybe another 100, 150 in labor. That's really not that bad. You don't need to service the transmission, they say, the ZF 8-speed, but I would say probably at 40 to 50,000 miles, you'd want to do a transmission fluid flush. And the kit for that from ZF, plus, you know, the labor, I think that's probably going to be maybe a $500 job. But at the same time, like, that's 40 to 50,000 miles in. So all you really need to do on these cars is oil changes, and then be careful with the tires and swap them out when you need to. So people who have not owned a modern BMW, you have no idea how bulletproof, powerful, and just excellent this car is in every way. All-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, interior technology, interior luxury, the seats with the carbon bucket seats, the brakes with the carbon ceramic brakes. The fact that this engine has forged internals, it doesn't have a downfall like a crank hub, which you need to get pinned on the F80 generation for thousands of dollars. The transmission, the ZF 8-speed, I think is so powerful, and it can handle so much more. So you can go from a 500 horsepower stock M3 or M4 to a 700 horsepower daily, no problems for the life of the car. And there's really no other cars like that on the market, you know what I mean? I am interested in the Mercedes-Benz CLE 63 AMG. So I think they came out with the 53 AMG, which is kind of like the C63 AMG coupe of before. It's called the CLE now, I'm pretty sure. The 53, I think, has a electrified supercharger of all things, but it's not a full AMG engine. So I'm thinking the CLE 63 will get a twin turbo V8, because the C63, the 4-door sedan, got, I think, like a hybrid 4-cylinder, and people were not happy. So the CLE 63, I think, is gonna look sick, guys. You gotta keep an eye out for that one. Similar price point to the M3, M4, might be a little bit more. But the only thing that Mercedes-Benz, I think, has on BMW right now is the interior quality is definitely a step up. Like, you're not going to have to option like full stitching, like it just kind of comes standard. Things like that, I think Mercedes has always been a little bit more on the luxury side, and BMW has been, you know, on the performance side. I think the M cars are just head and shoulders above the RS and the AMG cars now. And, you know, people are cross-shopping the M3 and M4 at the 6-figure price point with Porsches. So it tells you that the M owners, and there's been I think there's been a perception of BMW guys that we go from BMWs to Porsches. I went from a Porsche to a Supra to an M4. So, like, I guess I'm still considered just reverse order, but BMW guys do eventually aspire to own a Porsche. And I'm telling you, as someone who owned a 991 GT3 and 3 of these G82s, that an xDrive G82 is actually superior to the 991.1 GT3. And there's a few reasons I say that. The first is power potential. The .1 GT3, I put full headers, a full exhaust with no mufflers, high flow intakes from BMC, and I tuned it on a Softronic ECU custom tune. And I was able to run a 10-second quarter mile at 127 miles an hour at 10.9 seconds in that GT3. So it was pushing power. but I was probably only able to get another 40 horsepower out of it with everything, you know, 40 wheel horsepower. On the G82, you're talking about going from 500 to 700 wheel horsepower. You know what I mean? Without upgrading the internals or a turbo or the transmission. Like, you can go from 500 to 700 wheel horsepower, whereas on the GT3 you're going from like 475 to 525, you know what I mean, with modifications. And then the technology, the 991.1 GT3 was not refined at all. So you had, you know, carbon bucket seats look great in that car, but everything else in terms of the interior quality was not there, because it was more about lightweightness, right? Like more of a race car. So you might get only 4 speakers. There may not even be Bluetooth. I saw some of the cars didn't have Bluetooth. That was absolutely crazy, I think. But yeah, the G82 is just head and shoulders in terms of technology, luxury, comfort, and the fact that it is more able to go between a luxury grand touring car in, you know, comfort settings, 4-wheel drive, you know, valves off, or the exhaust button with burbles off, just completely luxury grand touring car that you can take on a long road trip and get 25 to 30 miles per gallon, which is crazy. Or you can switch it up and have the settings on full sport plus everything, and suddenly it's like a factory built race car with extreme levels of durability. And the GT3 just didn't have the ability to go between those two modes, you know what I mean? The GT3 was race car pretty much all the time. So there really isn't anything like this on the market now. And I'm still wearing off the new tires. Luckily it stopped raining. Oh, it sounds crazy. You gotta make it fun, right, guys? I mean, the car is also just endless amounts of fun and joy to drive the car, to truly drive the car, not to just drive it in comfort settings and fully automatic where you don't have to shift. Like, I know a lot of people actually buy the car and never get to fully experience it. If you have an M3 or M4 and you want to get the most out of it, you know, just hit me up. Just book time with me, really. And I know my Calendly sessions are for an hour, but if you want to book time with me and really go in and out of a G82 and get the most out of it, whether you're ordering it, whether you've picked it up, whether you want help modifying it, like, I can absolutely be an expert for you after having 3 G82s on best bang for buck. What are the best mods? What's the best quality mods if you want to spend more? How do you get the most out of it when it's stock? What's the different levels that you can, you know, look to modifying it, and how much does it cost to get there? Who should you work with? All of that, like, I can help you get to that. You know what I mean? If you have a vision for where you want your G80 to be, or how you want it to perform, or you want tips on driving, all of that, I can absolutely help with. And these tires, these Hankook Evo R's, I was pushing the car on the way, and they held up in the rain, guys. Like, they did exceptionally well. So I'm very happy with the tires so far. And I'd say, yeah, right around 130, there's a little bit more swaying than there was on the Pirelli, but it's also like 30 degrees colder now and wet outside, so the tires are also new. So I'll let the tires break in for about 200 miles before I give them a full, you know, rundown and review. Oh, it sounds excellent. Oh, crazy. The fact that the transmission from the factory is basically unlocked, you don't need to take the ECU out for the transmission to tune it, and you can do XHP or the M4 CS or the CSL tune if you're rear wheel drive for the transmission, is just incredible. The amount of, I would say, flexibility you have for where you want this car to go and how you want it to perform is just insane. Insane. Woo, woo, woo. I think if you take the same driver and you give them a GT3 stock and an M4, a G82 stock, a 991 GT3 and an M4, that same average driver will probably be able to put down a better time in the GT3 on a same track. But if you take that, you know, average driver and put them in a slightly modified G82, it's gonna start just putting absolute seconds on the GT3 in terms of lap times, because the power output goes up and the feel of the car increases with just a few mods, because the GT3 gives you so much feel that you can be a better driver because the car is doing a lot, but it's helping you feel it out. The G82, for sure, the numbness is there in the steering, but you could put front monoballs on for $400 and the numbness is pretty much gone. You can get a coilover setup for $3,000 and dial it in terms of suspension and rebound. The GT3 already comes on an adjustable suspension, but we're also talking about two different price points, right? If you compare 991 GT3, they're still about 130 to 150K, whereas a G82 can be got for like 80K, you know what I mean? And even lower, I would say in the low 70s now for the certified pre-owned 2022s, which is crazy. So you're getting a car at almost half the price, and for just about 3 to 5 grand in, you would take that same driver modifying the G82 for about 3 to 5 grand without unlocking the ECU or anything like that, and you'd be able to start really putting some distance between that G82 and the GT3 on the track, and it's amazing. The GT3, to get extreme amounts of good times out of it, you have to become an extremely better driver. For the G82, to get much better times, you just have to slightly modify the car a little bit and you can be the same driver you were. Of course you'll get better over time, but there's also that much. You know, the car is it's so capable. And it's so modular in terms of how you want to upgrade it to that next step. Can't say that'll ever get old, guys. Woohoo! The tires need to be worn down just a little bit before they'll get the optimum level of traction. I can feel it. What a car. That shift was insane. Oh my God, the 4th to 3rd is just like, it's brutal, you know what I mean? Absolutely brutal. A little bit of body roll there, some slip.
Gotta make sure the GoPro stays cool, guys. It just overheated. That's why my windows are up a little bit. So we got some road pirates up ahead. 3 reports, so they're definitely there. Cayenne turbo, it's dope. Classic. Let's see where they're at. This sweeping turn is actually pushing the car to the outside. You really feel it. See who we got pulled over. They might just be doing some work. Oh, someone's getting towed. Honda Pilot. I almost forgot to go to the gym. I've been trying to go every day, guys. I have a yearly subscription, so unlimited 24/7 access to a gym. I paid $300 for it, and I also got like unlimited hydro massage machine use, which was good until the machine broke, and then unlimited tanning sessions. But I don't really tan, so I don't use the tanning bed. But still, I think not bad. $300. Some people are paying like 200 bucks a month for the gym, and unless it's offering you awesome stuff like you got tennis courts, basketball courts, indoor soccer, you know, who knows, volleyball, pickleball. If it's got a ton of stuff, I get it. But I'm not spending 200 bucks plus a month just to work out in a gym, you know what I mean? You could break that down into like a sports club pass if you really wanted to do something like that. But I get it. I mean, if you really enjoy it, investing in yourself is the best investment, so I'm not hating it at all. But I do like the 24/7 access gyms where you pay one fee for the entire year. And then the people that show up are also not like the influencer type, you know what I mean? It's just regular folks trying to get a workout in, which I really appreciate. Oh. God, unreal. Porsche Boxster. Look at that. Very nice.
Accelerating, come on now. Oh, so good. I also get a lot of comments about people like, oh, that shift from third to second kills me, or second to first. Like, relax. ZF 8-speed really is bulletproof at stock power levels. And it's a car, it's meant to be driven, not babied, you know what I mean? Trust me. If you don't ever do that transmission shift from second to first or third to second, then you do it one day after never doing it, shit could go absolutely wrong. All right, guys, we're at the gym now. I'm gonna cap it here and then I'll put it back on when we're done. Let's go. All right, what's up, fam? Let's get some gas real quick and then we'll head back to Atlanta, see how the car looks. Just got done with the gym. Looking pretty clean because we got the car washed before we went to the gym. Get our rewards real quick. Okay, we're going past 9 gallons. Maybe 10 gallons, guys. Past 10 gallons. All right, 10.6, all right. Tires looking much cleaner now. Still have a little bit of gunk on them. Fishing rod. What a car, guys. Unbelievable. second. Is loving these temperatures, guys. It's like 78, but a nice breeze. Again, the people that don't know modern BMWs, the engine oil temperature is staying at 210, the water temperature is staying around 210, like it's not overheating. The car has so much in it. At the stock power level, how are you going to overheat it? Maybe if you stay in first gear at a drift event at stock power, you could overheat it if you just keep hitting the red line, but otherwise, you're not going to overheat the car. Whoa, is that a Bentley? Nice. Oh my God. That was uphill. That's what you guys got to remember. Fourth to third downshift is unreal. Oh my God, guys, like, are you kidding? Unreal. close that up. Alright fam, I'm gonna end the vlog here, the video today. Hope you enjoyed. That was a great drive back. Let's go.